Welcome to the Best Counsel, aka Advice I Can Offer podcast. First, I would like to make the following disclaimer. This is not an advice podcast. I do not offer advice. I offer what I consider to be counsel. Counsel is what I have learned and what I have experienced in my life journey. If something I say on this podcast resonates with you and can help you, good. But I am not telling you what to do. I am just offering counsel. Welcome to podcast 05 of the Best Counsel, aka Advice I Can Offer. Today's podcast is entitled, Not If, But When. I can still remember the day as if it was only yesterday. It was one of the few times I can remember my wife being uncomfortable in a conversation we were having. And believe me, we've talked about a lot of uncomfortable things in our first 20 years of marriage. But I can still remember as soon as I started talking, I could see her uncomfortability. I never thought having a conversation about death and where we should be buried at our death would be a big deal for her. After all, she had helped me as I have done almost 200 funerals in my first 20 years as a pastor. But truth is, death is uncomfortable for almost all of us. To talk about it, especially, it's uncomfortable when we start talking about our own death or someone as close as our mate or our children or close family member. But that being said, I want to use these few minutes in this podcast to share with you and make sure you understand what I had the privilege to teach my church members for over 20 years. It's not if we are going to die, it's only when. Talking about death, our own or others, can be uncomfortable. Even now, some of you are uncomfortable. But I hope when you finish listening to this podcast for these few minutes, you will be less uncomfortable about it. The reason I hope you will be more comfortable talking about death is because death is all our reality. Someone once asked the question if the word disillusionment was a negative word or a positive word. Most people said it was negative. But I agree with the man who asked the question when he said that disillusionment is a positive word. It's a positive word because disillusionment means facing reality. And the reality about death is not if, but when. We all will die. Rich, poor, black, white, male, female, gay, or straight. We all one day will die. The Bible confirms this when it tells us there is a time to be born and a time to die. As uncomfortable as it may be to hear a conversation about death, especially your own, I hope this conversation will open your eyes to not only accept this reality, but that it will open your eyes to face the reality that this is not a dress rehearsal and that the hand we are given is only for a short while. We one day must end this run. And the greatest thing I believe we can do is give it our best and do what we can while we can. and do as Micah 6:8 in the Bible tells us to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with thy God. There are many theories as to what happens after death. To me, what you believe is your choice to make. My only purpose today was to give you the wisdom to make sure that you live in our reality, that it's not if, but when, and treasure today. Be blessed and encourage someone today. And if what I have shared was helpful, share it with someone else. And follow us at The Best Counsel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also at The Real Family First Day. Take care.